Hello, I'm Neil Dealey, co-founder and partner of Architects and Urban Planners Metropolitan Workshop. Welcome to Reshaped, a podcast series to mark our 15th year and to record perspectives on how the built environment is changing and needs to change in this historic moment. We asked leading thinkers and doers to respond to issues highlighted by the pandemic while we're in the throes of change, and memories and perspectives are fresh. Has the door opened to a new era? We think so. What does our increasingly digital future hold? What can we expect from the fourth industrial revolution as machine learning and artificial intelligence transform everything we do, and in particular, how we design and use the built environment, and the way we react to future pandemics? Our speaker in this episode predicts that the way we navigate the world is about to radically change, and at a pace that is only accelerating. He is Abel Maciel, architect and senior research fellow at the Bartlett's Faculty of the Built Environment.
We are going through a massive digital transformation, and this is in all verticals. What we see now is this digital transformation affecting construction in ways we never saw before, and also affecting the built environment in ways we never saw before. So this is, in essence, an outcome of the fourth industrial revolution, and what is characteristic of this revolution is that the digital transformation is accelerating, and is what we call deep and wide. So it's going to affect our lives in many different ways, but it will be fundamentally different. The way it is affecting construction is that now we can create a lot of data symmetry in the things we do, or knowledge symmetry. So we can, before, when the architect was designing something, or the engineer was calculating something, or the contractor was on site, lots of things had to be discovered in the very last minute. We had to change the design minutes before the actual people pouring concrete, because we just didn't have that information. And what we are saying today is that information is everywhere, and we are capable to plan things much better, and we are capable also to start to create a digital thread. So what is designed and what is constructed can be tracked all the way to how people use that building, and eventually how that building is going to be demolished. What is fantastic nowadays, especially with this pandemic, is that with all that data floating around in our built environment, we are capable, in a limited way, I see, to leverage that data to help us to deal with the pandemic. So with this change in behavior and how we are having to manage our cities and manage our lives now with this first lockdown and second lockdown and social distancing, this is all very interesting, because we have this ocean of data in our environment, in our cities. And when we think about how we can deal with social distancing and deal with a pandemic like this, and carry on with our lives, this data becomes very valuable. But data itself is not the answer for anything. We need to leverage this data and create knowledge, ad hoc knowledge, to live our lives and adapt very quickly. And that's when AI plays a massive role. AI and machine learning can actually get this data and learn what is going on and inform us to help us to make the best decisions, from the individual to populations, to the entire city and the entire country. So this is really fantastic, the fact that we can have all the virtual environments playing a role in what we do, and video conferencing, and people using virtual reality, augmented reality, and other things to manage cities and manage how we carry on our roles in society. This is fantastic, but with the layer of data and knowledge on the top of it, and making sense of the situation using AI, this is a massive transformation. So in machine learning, we have some techniques that can learn what is happening in the environment very quickly. And if we apply this to cities, we can very quickly learn, for example, about communities of practice, how people use the environment, if a particular formation or configuration of a neighborhood could be improved to enable better communities of practice. We can also learn about energy. This is very important. How energy efficient a place is and how it could be with a changing behavior. We can also try to encode culture in cities in a much more effective way, addressing, a diverse society. We need to think about how this data it's trustworthy and how we actually can have some sort of guarantee that the data is what it is and is not being changed, is not being manipulated to make things appear to be something they are not. And the favorite technology to handle this is blockchain. But what we are realizing is that in this world of AI and smart cities and the emergence of all this ambient knowledge, we need to make sure that the data is what it is and is not being tampered with. And blockchain is very useful for that. It's immutable. It can guarantee the provenance of that data. It guarantees where it came from. And it can do lots of interesting things like synchronizing lots of sensors with the right data and also synchronizing robots by feeding them with the correct data. This is very interesting because we can start to think about dwelling 2.0, if you like, or smart buildings 2.0, and where the house or the flat you live, the apartment you live, or the office block you work at can actually operate like a device, like a machine that can monitor how people are using that asset, that build asset, and make the right choices to improve performance, energetic performance, but also mitigate situations like a pandemic. You can actually get real data that it's correct and it's immutable and there is no computational power in the world to change that data. This is very important. You will be informed to how better live your life in the urban context. Again, with all this data, knowledge, and behavioral opportunities in our ambience, we need to address resilience. We need to make sure that this amazing new design artifact that we are creating, which is like urban intelligence, will not break. One of the favorite strategies to create that resilience is edge computing. So edge computing is when you no longer had to send all the information to the centralized database, what we call nowadays the cloud, but we keep a lot of this AI embedded in the environments you have and the sensors you have. So all of this is processed locally in the many sensors you have in a building, is not going to a server somewhere. And this means that it's a healing system. So when something breaks, the systems, the many sensors you have and systems you have can triangulate and bypass that sensor that broke and still have that intelligence. So what we are seeing today is lots of different technologies, very clever technologies like IoT, cryptocurrencies and blockchain, distributed ledger technologies, machine learning, all coming together to improve the way we navigate the world.
That was Abel Maciel. Machine learning and artificial intelligence will enable us to achieve what Abel calls data symmetry. Ubiquitous, simultaneous access to data that can be relied upon because it can't be tampered with. A world of digital truths, enabled by blockchain technology. That has to be a major force for change in design and construction at least, and in democratic elections or future pandemics. The primary task for those of us working in the built environment will be to interpret and apply that data successfully and creatively. You can listen to other podcasts in the Reshape series at all the major providers, or go to our website, network.co.uk. Series directed by Lee Mallet, Produced by David Michon and Justina Green. Recorded and edited by Sean Crook.